What's up you guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to speak about how much drawdown is too much drawdown. How long should you be holding into a trade that's in a negative? Before you get started, if you are new to the channel, a sub would be appreciated as I provide valuable educational content on a daily basis. And if you enjoy the content, please smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And as always, let me know down in the comments below before in exactly what it is that you'd like for me to cover in my next video. Now, before we get started, I do want to speak to you about today's sponsor. It is the FXC Academy. They are sponsoring today's video. Now, signing up for the FXC Academy, they will give you access to their student dashboard, their beginner's course, intermediate course, as well as the expert course. Also, an overview of what the difference is between MT5 and MT4. They've also got an economical calendar, market research, videos on the daily market news, and the best part is they provide signals on a daily basis. Now, the course is available to be purchased on a yearly subscription, which is quite affordable. Which is probably what a lot of people charge you for a once-off course. You will get access to this information for an entire year. If you are interested and you do want to check them out, I will leave a link in the description below. Now, let's get back to today's video. Now, how much drawdown is too much drawdown, we ask. Now, before we get started, if there's one thing that you need to understand, is that you need to understand market structure. Now, if you don't understand what market structure is, I've done a previous video on how to trade support and resistance, which is market structure in general. So you can go and have a look at that video and then just continue with this one here as well. Now, let's go over the trade. Now, we're going to do all of this on the 1 hour because the 1 hour time frame is considered to be the most trading time frame for a lot of retail traders and sometimes swing traders in the market as well. Now, let's just say you are in this market. The first thing you want to do is you want to buy or sell to as close to structure in the market as possible. Now, you get different types of markets, right? Firstly, you get a consolidation market, which is also just support and resistance. So you do have this support and you have that resistance. If you do want to sell in a range, you always want to sell at the top of the range. If you want to buy, you want to buy at the bottom of the range. Your stop loss always needs to be below the previous low, but sometimes you don't get the best entry, so you need to adjust your stop loss further. However, I'm going to show you exactly how you need to know, or when you need to get out of the trade just to avoid as much drawdown as possible. Now, the one thing that you need to understand, if you wanted to sell this market over here, this would be the best place to sell it first. The first best place to would have been to sell it there. The second one would be to have sold it here. Why? Because if you're a price action trader, you sell at resistance and you buy at support. We know that, right? There's no need to be shy of saying that's how you trade. Now, firstly, if you look at this level over here, it acted as support got broken, it became resistance, and you've entered at the best place that you can buy. Now, let's assume that you do want to run this market all the way to the downside, and you do want to get in. Let's assume that you are in this market and you want to trade it to that level there. You put your stop loss above this previous high, because as technical traders, we always want to make sure our stop loss is above the previous high. Now, this is a 1 to 2.4 risk reward, which is not the greatest out there, but guess what, you are basically risking 1% to make 2.24%, and if you ask me, that's a pretty sweet deal. Now, let's assume this trade is running. This trade starts to take off. Right now, the best way to maximize out of this trade, okay, to make sure that you get to the bottom or even further, and I'll show you how you can cut the losses short right there. There's no need to still go to stop. No, like, we're not going to do that. I'll show you exactly how you know when it's time to get out of this market. Now, please keep in mind, if you do trade the 1 minute, I would suggest that you scroll down to the 5 minutes, because why, it's quite difficult to read the price action on the 1 minute because it's quite volatile on there, and you might panic and close out before, and then the market actually starts going in the opposite direction. So I would say drop down on the 5 minute if you are trading on the 1 minute time frame there as well. Now, let's assume that you are in this trade, right? The first thing I want to teach you is when do you know it is the best time to get out of this trade? Firstly, we know that was support, it was turned resistance, right? Now, this is how the market works. When support gets broken, it becomes resistance. When the resistance gets broken, it becomes support. Now, the best way that you are going to continue with this trade, well, it's quite simple. All you want to do is you want to be in the trade right here. If this market structure breaks to the upside, what you do want to wait for is for this 1 hour candle to close above this level. Then you know that this level of support that is now turned resistance got broken, and all of that resistance is exactly one turn support again. What you want to do is when the market pulls back, you want to exit the trade here at break even. Now, you're probably sitting there going, yeah, but what happens if it pulls back and I close it and it goes lower? Well, guess what? If the market does break and close above, it comes back to test the structure because it's going to be support. You exit your entry. If the market decides to go up, pull back, break that level of support, if you haven't guessed it by now, yes, then you go for another entry in there. Why? Because it's quite simple. When this level of resistance gets broken, it becomes support. You expect support to hold. If support does not hold and the market breaks below that, all of that support is then turned resistance there as well. So yeah, so and you do the same thing for the move to the downside as well. So if you do get that break and retest to the bottom, and if you do want to ride this wave to the downside, yeah, as well, you kind of want to do it the same way. So if the market breaks below the structural level, all of that support would then be turned resistance, and you basically just move your stop loss according to the structure. As the market creates and breaks structure, you keep adjusting your stop loss at the previous structural level as well. Now, this was very straightforward. This is very straightforward, and if I took this trade, I'd have probably been in some good profits now, but I'm just using it for illustration purposes. So this is how you read the structure in the market. Well, not read the structure, but how you minimize your stop losses. The same thing you do for a buy. If you're in a buy position and the market, so if you're buying, then you just work it the other way around as well. Now, I want to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the opportunity. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and don't forget to check out the FXC Connect in the description below. And as always, enjoy the weekend and cheers for years.